an interview. And I'll walk into the room. She's like conducting an interview, and I'll just be like, "Oh, what's going on, love?" And she'll give me this look of like, "Shut the fuck up! I'm interviewing a candidate right now." You would think after like 6 months or however long lockdown's been, I would have learnt, but I've done it so many times. And I feel bad for her because I'm like, I'm making your job hard when it shouldn't be this hard.
Damien's going to get a Microsoft Teams link from his girlfriend. He's realizing he's getting fired.
He's getting fired. Oh, yeah, that's it.
Oh, no. It can't happen. If I don't turn my camera on, it's not real.
I'm going to have to let you go. But like, and I've spoken to my girlfriend about this. It's been interesting to be like, because obviously people are working from home. Some people like are doing the interviews from their car and stuff because they're trying to get away from their kids and just have like 30 minutes of interview time.
Yeah.
But like, I think the video component is a big part because I think you want to, regardless of what the person looks like or whatever, I think it is nice to just have, an image of what the person looks like that you're interviewing, regardless of looks or anything like that.
Yeah, I agree. What I like about this, though, is they're like, sorry, go.
I was going to say, like, imagine doing this podcast without the video component and it was just us doing the voice. Oh. We know what each other look like, but you do lose an element of connection without that visual component.
Yeah. I like staring into your eyes, guys. I like to see what that's it, Damien. You got beautiful eyes there. That's it. No, but you're right. You need that human interaction.
What I like, though, is they had the first interview and they'll probably finish up like, what do you think? Pretty good. He didn't turn his camera on. No, it's okay. We'll get him on another interview. They have the second interview and the same thing happens. Like, God damn, he didn't do it again. Like, they're just going to keep sort of rolling the dice to be like, turn your camera on. Like, what are you hiding? You're very good, but what is wrong with you? We need to see. Are you in a dungeon or something like that? We need to know what is the red flag about you?
You're right.
Turns on the camera and he's Quasimodo from the
Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yeah.
No, Tom, you hit on such a good point that the fact that it's the whole thing of not seeing, like it's like in Home Improvement, right? That very old sitcom, the neighbor, Wilson, you can only see the top half of his face. Yep. And even though it has no impact on the show or the story, people are like, what does he look like? I need to know. And that's like hundreds of episodes and people are dying to know what he looks like and it's on their mind. So in this scenario, he's Wilson them in a way. They're like, what does this guy look like? What is he hiding? We need to know.
He like finally comes on the camera and he's got a fence in front of his face as well. He's done the Wilson. I urge anyone that's having a job interview to do the Wilson. When you can on camera, do the Wilson.
I like to think that the only reason why he's got the second and third interview is not because he's a good candidate or anything like that. It's just because he's left enough mystery. They're like, we want to know what he looks like. We want to know what he looks like. And once we know what he looks like, we can let him go. But until then...
We're absolutely giving him the job. But we just want to see him first.
We love the man of mystery. We love it.
Yeah.
He comes into the office with a giant question mark on his face.
He's the Riddler, basically.
He has a rag over his head or a sack.
So do you think that he's done the bad thing by doing it twice in a row? I feel like the second one he probably should have turned the camera on, especially if it's a Microsoft Teams link. There's the option to just flick that camera on, at least look somewhat respectable from the torso up.
Absolutely. And like Marcus hit on, he's done good enough without the visual element to get another interview. So why not hit? You got to hit him with the razzle dazzle this time. Be in a suit, have the slicked hair. Like I think because you've been like hiding in the rafters. Now you got to really come out and hit him with the goods. Is what I'm thinking. You can really make it count.
So we've obviously been working from home for a lot, and there's a lot of video calls, a lot of meetings. I'm sure everyone's had. Do you find it weird when people put on those backgrounds?
Yeah,
like Zoom calls.
I don't like them. I feel like what I don't like is the stock backgrounds that they always have. Like with Zoom, there's like one of like a beach, and there's one of like San Francisco, like Golden Gate Bridge and stuff. I'm like, yeah, it's fine. You can put a background on, put something else on. But I think it's almost like it's the only way you can sort of like spice up your little shindig, what you got going on behind you. Make yourself feel. And someone had like a Barbie playhouse, like a two pink staircases coming behind them. I'm like, that's kind of fun. That's kind of cool. But it's like,
was Ken in the background as well? Was Ken in the background?
Ken was in the background. He goes, "Oh, what's going on, love?" He like walked in. He walked in.
Hey, Barbie, what's going on? I saw like a next level Zoom thing on YouTube. I think it was done by CNET. There's this one guy who pre-recorded all his responses to questions that he was anticipating to get from his bosses. So he didn't actually partake in the Zoom interview. He just played canned responses that he'd prepared earlier.
Nice.
And it's really funny. He did it for a whole week. It's a great watch, and nobody in his team realized the whole time. So it just shows you can get away with a lot over a Zoom call.
I think you can you can stretch like disbelief with Zoom because if you're frozen for half a second and you don't give like the quickest response, it's sort of believable. Also, people have a bit of Zoom fatigue, so maybe they're not paying as close attention to things, especially in meetings and stuff. So like that's a very clever idea, actually.
Definitely. I don't like the backgrounds because I'm like, it's distracting. I'm trying to look at this person and I'm seeing like this beach in the background. I'm like, man, I wish I was there. And I lose what they're saying for about 10 minutes. And I lose what they're saying for like 5 minutes. And then it's distracting. I don't like it.
And that's how Tom felt when he saw Barbie's Dreamhouse. I wish I was there.
I
was missing out.
Now I'm jealous.
I wish I was getting pampered by Ken.
So this person here, do you think, like, they've obviously got the third interview, so I think they'll be okay. Obviously, they should be dressing up. But do you think they did the wrong thing for the first two?
Yes, but I don't think he has to worry about that now. He has the old third time's a charm under his sleeve, so I think he just has to put it in the past, and you can really knock him out with this third impression.
I think what advice we can give anybody that's going for a job interview is take the time to get ready. And if it's a video call, just it doesn't take long to get ready. Like I'm sure, I would imagine females might take a little bit longer because they like to do the makeup and all that, but it's not that hard to get ready for an interview. You put the effort in. If you're actually going in person to a job interview, you would get ready. So I would always recommend getting ready. Even if there's no video call, at least I'm ready, I'm prepared for it if there is a video call.
Yeah, I agree. I think just flick the camera on, buddy. Just put a shirt on and that's it.
Definitely.
All right. Well, let's leave it there for ironing and let's leave it there for the podcast. That's all the time we have. Actually, we've gone longer than we usually have, but great questions and a game brought to the table as always.
Not a game.
Not a game. It was a segment, let's just say. Let's just call it a segment.
A recurring segment.
Ooh, let's hope it comes back. Just want to make sure you boys aren't going to be doing any sort of, irresponsible non-social distancing over this nice weekend like we have seen on the news. The weather's good, but just try to hold back.
Look, I was going to say St Kilda have that covered with how many people were at the beach yesterday. We don't need to do anything.
Yeah, it's true. There's actually no room for us. We couldn't go if we wanted to because there's physically no space to do it. I respect
the tail end.
Mosh pit at the beach.
We're on the tail end. We're almost there. We can do this, Victoria.
Just get it through. Let's just get through and then we can all go to the beach properly and we'll see each other once again. Maybe we can record a show from the beach. That'd be nice, boys.
Yeah.
And and proceed to destroy hundreds of dollars of equipment with sand getting into everything.
Whatever. It's been a tough year, Damien. Let me just try to enjoy something, all right?
Fair enough.
Well, we should probably leave it there. That's all the time we have. If you want to get in touch with us, you can email us at tqhpodcast@gmail.com just to say hi, or if you've got a question of your own, we'd happily answer it here. Otherwise, that is all the time we have. As I said, thank you to everyone out there for listening. Thank you, of course, to Marcus.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you to Damien.
Thanks, guys.
And as we end every episode, stay curious. Thank you again for listening. If you want to get in touch with us and ask us a question of your own, you can email us at tqhpodcast@gmail.com.
That email again, Tom.
Is tqhpodcast@gmail.com. We're also on what, Marcus?
We're on Twitter. We're also on Facebook.
At TQH Podcast. You can find us there. And we are also on, Damien.
Wherever you can get a podcast, that is where the TQH Podcast is. Spotify, iTunes, Spreaker, Stitcher, you name it. We're on there.
And if you head over to iTunes, rate, subscribe, and leave a review, that would be fantastic. 5 stars if you think we deserve it. Thanks for listening.